you Patriot Business Finance Consultants?
Yeah, I'm Patriot Business Finance Consultants. Why? Everything okay?
Are you working with John Smith of Smith's Construction?
Well, yeah, I'm working with John Smith of Smith's Construction. I'm trying to arrange the best possible financing for what he's trying to get accomplished. The best deal structure, the best term, and the best rates.
That ain't gonna work for me. I'm getting the deal.
Wait a minute! Even if packages and rates and the deal structure and everything else is better for the customer, you still want the deal?
Deal structure and rates don't matter. And none of that matters.
Getting the customer the better deal doesn't matter to you?
Stop! You can have the deal. Ugh. Hey man, I saw what happened. Are you all right?
Yeah, thanks for checking on me. I'm Paul.
I'm Chad.
I'm Paul from Patriot Business Finance Consultants. We're just trying to get the best financing package arranged for our clients. We will fight for you. 844-742-1776. Call us. Check out our website, www.patriotbfc.com. All right. Hello, everybody. Paul Whitehouse, Patriot Business Finance Consultants here on Get Rich, Don't Cry Trying, Industry Talk, gemsit.org. Yeah, that's a crazy video, but I made a couple dollars off of it. We got deals out of it. So do a lot of crazy things. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff tonight. One of my favorite subjects, creative financing. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about why we're here, why I do the show, why we all do what we do. All right, two reasons I'm doing this. I want to get rich, and I'm not going to cry trying. And we're here to give information so that you can get rich, get wealthy. Definition of wealthy, what is that? Here's the definition of it. How many years can you live on the money that you have? If you need $80,000 a year to survive, not working, first off, who's not going to work? You're going to work, you're going to do something, you're going to run your business, you're going to be doing creative things. But if you need $80,000 a year and you got 40 years left, that means you need $4.2 million to survive 80 years. If you've got that, you are wealthy for 40 years. That's the definition of wealth. Rich is a different definition, two different words, two different definitions, obviously. But we are here with Get Rich, Don't Cry Trying, so we can all get rich and get wealthy. What we're going to talk about tonight, like, comment, share, subscribe, get people in here, because there might just be only one single thing that I say that might change a life, might make a difference. We're doing this. I'm doing this so I can get deals. If you see me here and you need financing for your business, call me 330-501-4554. Let's talk about money for your business, financing for your business. We're also here to share information for free. With the stuff we're giving you, you don't need me to do creative financing. You just need the information. So let's get right into it. Creative financing. We've talked about this on the show before. There's so many definitions of it. So many definitions of creative financing. Creative financing can be used to buy businesses. It can be used to buy assets. It can be used to buy cars. It can be used to buy anything. You've got a seller, you've got a buyer. Both of them need something. Both of them need to win. Do you guys know that more than 70% of businesses sold in America are sold with owner financing? That's huge. You don't need a business loan to own a business. Creative financing is how do you get something when you have nothing or very little to go get that thing with? You use your brain. That's your most powerful weapon is your brain. You are your most powerful weapon. You are your best ally. So what do you need to get that stuff? You need information first. Information turns into knowledge. Knowledge turns into wisdom. Wisdom turns into wealth. So here is the information. All right. Creative financing. Let me tell you a story about one of my best friends and what he did. He bought 50 acres of raw land. I think he spent $120,000 on it. He had the cash. So, I mean, he had an advantage there, but he bought the land. He owned the land free and clear. Do you know that you can sell the trees? The trees, timber. There's timber companies who want to buy the timber, buy it, process it, sell it, because they make money doing that. So they'll come in and they'll buy the trees off of your land. And that's what he did. He sold the trees. I think he made $60,000 on the sale of the trees. He could have made more, but he didn't do a clear cut. He did what's called a select cut. So he made 60,000 bucks on top of the sale of the trees and sold the property for the same amount of money that he bought it for. You could do that. You could buy a piece of land. You could put an offer on the land and you've got the contract. You got 30 days to close it, right? You know that there's trees on that land that are worth cutting down. They got to be a certain size. Timber company comes in, estimates all that. But if you have a contract on a piece of raw land, call the timber company, have them come on in, make you the offer for the trees. And if you got enough trees, you can do what's called a simultaneous close. You close with the timber company and you close with the seller of the property that you made an agreement with. And you sell the trees, and all of a sudden you own the land free and clear. And you did it probably not with nothing, because when you put an offer on a property and they accept it, you got to give them earnest money. But how much earnest money you got to give them? That's to be agreed upon. That's creative financing. Make an agreement. I'll give you 1,000. I'll give you $2,500. I'll give you $5,000 as earnest money. Let's make the agreement. You make the agreement, you sell the trees, and you own land free and clear. That's one example of creative financing. There's thousands, tens of thousands of examples of creative financing. We talked about it before, man. I bought a pizza shop when I was younger. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the credit, but I knew I wanted to do it. So I went to the seller and I asked him, how can we do this? I want to buy it. How can we do this? Will you finance me? He said, yes. I gave him $1,000 down for a pizza shop. That's unheard of. Actually, it's not unheard of if you've got this information. So you can buy cars, you can buy assets just by making an agreement with the seller. When you do that, both people have to win. What's the motivation of the seller? When you are going into this type of a deal, this type of structure, remember I said information, knowledge, wisdom. Here's the wisdom part mixed in with the knowledge and the information which you're collecting. You got to understand who you're talking to. You can ask the questions. Hey, why are you selling this business? Oh, I want to retire. My kids don't want the business. They're doing their own thing. Well, there's a perfect opportunity. You say to them, say, well, explain your situation. Hey, man, I'm trying to start a business. I want to take good care of my family. I don't have a lot to work with, but I'd like to ask you a question. Let me start off like this. 70% of businesses are sold in America, give them this information, are sold with owner financing. Would you finance me if we can come to some agreement and some terms? They might say no immediately. They just might do that. Or they might say, tell me more. If they say, tell me more, they just open the door to you. So you tell them more. Say, what do you need? What can we do? How about I need 3 years of tax returns before I can refinance this business and get an SBA loan. How about I give you X amount of money down? You train me on how to do this business. I'll come in, I will work whatever it takes. If the business is closed on Sunday, I guess you're taking one day off. Tell them I'll come in 7 days. I'll work 7 days on this. The day that the business is closed, I'll be advertising it. Every business is different. You got to do different things for different businesses, but you let that person know that you're dedicated. You're not backing out. You've given them some money down. So you got something into it that you don't want to walk away from. And they just might say yes. They might take you under their wing because people will do that. If they see somebody who is Jonathan Page, Jonathan Shaw, what's going on, buddy? Ask the right questions is important. Yes, you're right. Get the details, ask all the questions, do your due diligence and study. You don't want to buy a business that's losing money. So you got to study this. You got to get into this first. You got to get the information, knowledge, and use your wisdom. But you can do this. Lots of people do it this way. And it's the way to create wealth for you and your family. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? Why do we all want to do this? Well, we're doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for our family, for our kids. We're doing it for the community. And when you get wealthy, I think you got an obligation to bring other people along and teach other people these things, mentor somebody. I got a lot of crazy ideas. This is not the time to go into them. I'll go into it real quick. I imagine a fund created that provides startup money for businesses. And then the people who get into that business, part of it is after you succeed, you have to take money and reinvest it into one person. I hope you do it for 10 people. But after you get wealthy, take that money and help somebody else get wealthy for themselves and for their family. That's really why we do this stuff. I mean, we got kids, we got family we want to take care of. We want to leave behind a legacy. I think back about what my one friend Rick said. This guy's awesome. And he said, you want to be the person who your great grandchildren, great great grandchildren point to that full size, full length velvet velour painting on the wall of you and say, that's my granddad. That's the one who started this. That's the one who put me in this position. So creative financing is a huge way to do this. Creative financing works in regular financing also. Regular financing is what I do. I mean, I do creative financing, clearly, but I also do regular financing. Let me do a little shout out for Patriot Business Finance Consultants, me, my business partner, Bob Namola. Money for your business, financing for businesses, equipment financing, real estate, commercial investment property financing, cash flow, unsecured financing, factoring, purchase order financing, SBA loans. If you're in business and you're listening to me right now and you need money for your business, I'm the one to talk with. The banks are only going to plug you into their programs. Okay. The equipment finance guy at the equipment dealer, he's only going to tell you what needs to be told to get you to sign yes, because he's not going to tell you there's less expensive money down the road. And by the way, the finance guy at the equipment dealer marks the money up. He gets you approved for 7 or 8. He sells it to you for 9 or 10. He doesn't have your best interest at heart. We do. We charge points up front. We tell you about them up front. You don't got to pay us up front. Pay us when the deal, it gets wrapped into the financing. You pay us at the end. no money out of pocket. But on the subject of how creative financing gets mixed in with traditional regular business financing, here's one example. Let's say, okay, a lot of people who watch this show are in the entertainment industry. The entertainers themselves, the performers, the artists, that's a that's a different field of financing that I'm not an expert in. But let's zero in on the recording studio. You own a recording studio. You're getting bigger and better. You got more people who want to come to you, but you need more equipment. You need a building. You need a building that has 2 or 3 rooms with equipment in it, and you need that equipment. How do you get that equipment? First, you call 330-501-4554. You talk to me. I will walk you through the process. I will make it easy. I'll spend as much time as you need me to spend with you so you understand it completely. But you're that guy. You need equipment to fill your studio. Okay? It's called an equipment lease. Equipment leases are designed for ownership. But let's mix the creative financing angle in on that. If you're a startup business, let me hit you with this first. Existing businesses, more than 3 years in business, good to excellent credit, you could finance equipment for very little money down. You can put the first payment only down if you choose to. Let's paint a different picture though. Let's say there's difficult credit involved and you need 20% down for the lender to say yes to financing all the equipment you need. You need $150,000 worth of studio equipment. 20% is $30,000. You say, I don't have it, Paul. I get creative. My next question to you is going to be, well, what other assets do you have? Do you have real estate? Do you have investment real estate, anything commercial real estate? Do you have other equipment that you own free and clear? You say to me, yeah, I got a whole room of equipment right there. I'm going to say, what's the value of it? You're going to say, I bought it cash 5 years ago. It's when I started. Values probably $50,000. Oh, okay. That's called cross collateralization. The lenders that we work with allow us to be creative, and they are also creative. Instead of cash out of pocket, you can use that equipment as an asset. You can pledge that as collateral instead of cash. That's your down payment. Okay? The deal gets approved. You get the equipment. You start making money with the equipment. You pay that on time every single month. At the end of the 4, 5, or 6 years, you choose the term, then you own it free and clear. You own the equipment the new stuff you bought, but the equipment that you pledged, instead of the money down, it's yours again. So that's an example of creative financing. All right, guess what? We got to pay the bills. Lights have to stay on. So we are going to do a commercial break.
No, this is not a dream. You're in the world of Inside Speaks. We're inspiring you to find happiness in your world. Guess what? We outside with it. We like to hammock camp, bike, as well as ruck. That's right. I'm an Army veteran. I served 2 tours, man, with some great individuals, man. We had our ups, we had our downs, just like you go through in life. But I tell you what, I'm going to share some of them stories with you on.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, Comedian JB, the real Jay Braswell, Comedian Jay Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jbcomedy.com.
It's about that time we decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down, man, trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, where the boss is talking.
Need a host, feature, headliner, or motivational speaker who delivers every time? Book comedian Jarrell Braswell, bringing high-energy comedy and unforgettable performances to every stage he touches. Catch him while you can. Visit jbcomedy.com and secure your date today. Calendar is filling fast. Book Jarrell Braswell now.
Come on, y'all, and come up. Blooded. They call it JB Comedy.
Coming to the stage, comedian JB.
Man, I tried they older women, them cougars, they fucking it up. They doing what young women doing, cougars popping, mollies, they get BBLs, all that shit. One cougar I was fucking with had a BBL, she was shaped like a silverback gorilla. For real. Had another one I was fucking with, that bitch was shaped like Shamar.
Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Galen Smith, Uncle G, you heard him. Like, share, subscribe, tap in. Look who he's bringing together. Jay Shaw, Gerald Braswell, boom, Angel Williams. Everybody, like, share, subscribe. Bring people into this room. Let's all get rich. You're going to cry a little bit while you're trying. It's not a straight line. Getting rich, getting wealthy is not a straight line. You're not working a job. Job's kind of a straight line, steady income. You plan your life, boom. Get rich. Don't cry. You might a moment, but get past it. Go beyond it. Get past this stuff. Let's look back at how people lived before the 1950s, man. Go back centuries. Do you think they worked 8 hours a day? No. 1920s, they weren't working 8 hours a day. They were grinding because you had to grind. My parents, my dad was a steel worker. My mom was an auto worker. They had 7 kids. They had to work. So that's kind of taken me into what I want to say right now. Don't cry trying, be creative. Okay. Okay, here's the tie-in. How to make, and it ties in with creative financing. How to make something happen when you don't have anything to begin with. You might have a couple $1,000. You're going to need it. There really is. Zero down is possible on a lot of things. You can get a zero down deal on a rental house with creative financing. You could, I mean, I've done it before. I helped a guy move. Here's an example of creative financing. Then I'm going to get into what I was talking about. Carlton Sheets. People who are in their 50s are going to remember this. I still have this stuff. Infomercials before the internet, late 80s, early 90s. Zero down money, purchase rentals. Well, that stuff's true. It worked. Here's what I did once. There was a house for sale by owner. I went there. And this was before I had a whole lot of wisdom. I just had information and knowledge. I went there and I said, you know, what are you trying to do? He told me he's trying to sell it and he needed to move. I had $1,000. That's all I had. So I wanted to buy the house. I gave him the $1,000 down and I helped him move to North Carolina. I helped him pack. I helped him drive a truck down there, and I drove back here with him. That was my payment, and he moved down there. And I fixed the house up a little bit, and I sold it and made money. Not only on the sale of the house, he left most of the stuff. I had a garage sale and made a bunch of money too. Creative financing, that was kind of a side shoot, but let me get back into what you got to do if you got nothing. Okay. I mean, I almost did that with nothing. I had effort, time into it, and $1,000. That's pretty much almost nothing. But let's say you need X amount of money to start your business. And that can be any business. You can be an artist and you need cash to propel your career forward, because you will need cash to propel it forward. You want to start a landscaping company or a grass cutting company or a concrete company or a construction company, but you need money. Okay. How do you do it? Well, if you work a regular job and you get paid 20 or 30 bucks an hour or less, because that's possible, it depends on what part of the country you live in. By the time you take taxes out of that money that you're working and getting 40 hours a week, you're not going to have enough left to invest, invest. Saving doesn't work. You got to get chunks of money at a time. Get the chunks at a time. So if you're in business, you're a salesperson. You have to sell yourself, sell your business. Let's say you're young, or you don't know how to sell yourself. Well, there's careers that will teach you how to sell. All right. I'm going to think of one that I did. Car sales. You can make a plan, because you always got to have a plan. Your plan is to own here's your plan. You want to get a grass cutting company. You need a truck. You need a trailer. You need 2 zero-turn mowers. You need weed whackers. You need stuff. By your estimates, it's going to cost you $40,000 to get everything that you need to be top notch, man. Looking good, pulling up in a decent vehicle with nice equipment. You can have an older truck, no big deal, but you got to have nice equipment. But you got nothing right now. How will you creatively do that? Okay. It's better if you want it to happen right now. I want it to happen right now for you. Everything that I've done, I wanted it to happen right now also. But sometimes you got to make a plan. How are you going to learn to sell your services and approach people and talk to them? And how are you going to get that $40,000? You might think, I'm never going to be a car salesman. Why would I want to do that? Here's why you would want to do it. Because you can make $10,000 or $15,000 a month. You can make $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 a month not knowing what you're doing. And they will teach you the art of selling, because selling is an art. Selling, negotiating, overcoming objections. You can be taught all that stuff. And you can take 6 months or 12 months of doing something that you really don't want to do. But sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do. You're going to work 50 hours a week as a car salesperson, maybe 60 going in on your day off. But if you can crank in $10,000 or $12,000 a month, and you can crank in $10,000 or $12,000 a month in car sales, do that as part of your plan. Make $120,000 one year, pay your taxes. You got, I don't know, 100,000 left. Live lightly. Don't go out and party, but don't go out and buy bottles for everybody. Save the money. At the end of that 12 months, you've learned to sell yourself, your product, your service, and you got a chunk of money. And now you can quit the job that you don't want to do forever and do what you want to do forever. That's another way to be creative, because that's what we're talking about tonight, is being creative. Be creative. Think about things. Make a plan. Don't worry about if people don't agree with your plan. If you know it's solid, then it is solid. Look at that commercial I made at the beginning of the show. I mean, do you think somebody would have told me that that's a good idea? I didn't care. I knew it would bring some deals in. It only brought 2 or 3 deals in, but I made thousands of dollars just by doing that with my buddy. So there's so many things you can do to be creative and make money. And that's what we're here for. This is get rich, don't cry trying. Okay, back to our parents working 12 hours a day. Today, people will work 8 hours a day and be tired. You can't do that, man. I mean, I guess you can do it, but you're not going to get wealthy. We're here to get wealthy. Not all of us are here to get wealthy, but the people watching Industry Talk are here to get wealthy. The people watching Get Rich, Don't Cry Trying, we're all here to get wealthy. I am here to get wealthy. I got stuff I got to do. I got people I got to take care of. I got 2 daughters. That's why I'm doing it. And I don't work 8 hours a day. You can call me at midnight. That's why you want to work with Paul at Patriot Business Finance Consultants, 330-501-4554. I'm here all the time. You can talk to me at midnight about business. I'm ready to go because money doesn't sleep. Somebody told me this once before. I didn't understand it when they said it to me, but now I get it. They stated it to me. Are you mad at money? I didn't understand what they meant. Are you mad at money? Yeah. I'm not mad at money no more. I'm not mad because I don't have it, because I know it's right around the corner. I mean, people, look where we live at. We live in America. There's money laying on the ground. And there is money laying on the ground. That's why you see people driving around scrapping. Stuff that people throw away, they pick it up and they sell it. They take it to the scrapyard. That's money laying on the ground. Okay. I got a friend in Columbus, Ohio, who drives wealthy neighborhoods, and he makes a lot of money doing this. This is crazy. And he does it. He drives through the wealthiest of neighborhoods, and he picks up stuff that they are throwing away. And they throw away stuff that doesn't need to be thrown away. Like, those battery powered Jeeps and cars for kids. He picks it up, fixes it, and sells it for a couple $100. Lawnmowers that need a spark plug, that the people who threw it away, they don't know how to change a spark plug. If you know how to do some basic maintenance, you can pick garbage up and turn it into hundreds of $500. I think he's pretty creative for doing that, and he makes a good living doing it. So, throw it in the comments. Tell me something creative. What's Jay Shaw got to say? They can't find people selling their old, yeah, and make the money to get the new equipment. Exactly. When you want something bad enough, you will sacrifice to make it happen. Yes. Rick Ross got a question. Let's see. How difficult is it for licensed cannabis farmers and dispensaries in California to obtain financing today? There's more questions. I'm going to answer that one. If you've got cash flow and assets, it's not hard. Okay. Cannabis is a business. It's a big business right now. We represent 3 lenders, and I think one of them, in my opinion, is the biggest finance company and they only finance cannabis and hemp. That's the only thing that they do. So they finance assets. There's 2 types of financing for cannabis. There's investment money, and then there's asset-based financing. We can offer both. So asset-based financing, if you own assets currently, and you need more assets or more equipment, well, we can help you. If you have cash flow, good to excellent credit, we got you covered easy. If you've got difficult credit, but you have cash flow, we can help you. So that's the first part to Rick's question. By the way, let's do a shout out. Freeway Rick Ross, the reason I'm on this show. He introduced me to Galen. I become good friends with Galen. Uncle G, you're the best. I get smarter every single time I talk with you. All right. What are the biggest barriers they face when seeking capital, and what changes, whether in banking, legislation, or private investment, would make it easier for these businesses to access the funding they need to grow and remain competitive? I don't know how to answer the legislation. Private investment, nothing needs to change. You need to be a cannabis company that has the ability to grow. Private investment is different from asset-based financing. In order to get approved for any financing, you need to have cash flow and growth right there. So financing for cannabis, easy to make happen. If you're in the cannabis business, call me 330-501-4554. Let's all make money together. Jay Shaw, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Exactly. All right. Bills need to be paid. Got to keep the lights on. Commercial break. Let's do it. All right. We'll be back for the commercial break in a minute. Okay. Let's talk about more creative financing. That's the subject of today. All right. Anybody ever hear of wholesalers? Real estate wholesalers. I got a friend in Cleveland. This man's incredible. He's been doing it for 20 years. He told me he puts $2,000 down on a single family residence. If it's a commercial property, he'll put $5,000 down. You find a property for sale that you know is below market value, and it's below market value based on typically condition. You got a beat up place. The seller's had enough of it. He's owned it for 20 or 30 years. He's had enough. He doesn't want to do it no more. He's wealthy. He's ready to retire. And wealthy people who are ready to retire are the easiest people to do creative financing with. You approach that seller. I mean, he's realistic. He knows it. He knows the condition of the property. Now, these numbers are going to sound small based on if you live in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, big metro. But in my area, these are kind of realistic numbers. Let's say it's a single family residence. It's beat up. But you know that it's in a $100,000 neighborhood. Okay. When it's fixed up, it's worth $100,000, $150,000. Let's use $100,000. What do you have to buy it for so that you can sell it for an investor? And what type of information, knowledge, and wisdom do you have to use to know what offer that you can make that somebody will accept and not laugh you off as a joke? Okay. Well, you look at the house, you know it needs a roof. You've been inside the house, you see some water damage, you know it needs updated. And these are things that the person you sell it to is going to be taken care of. So you got to look forward. If you're a wholesaler and you say, what is the next buyer going to need to put into this and still make a profit? As a wholesaler, you're selling paper. You're not selling the house. You're getting a contract with the seller. You now have the contract. That's the paper. You're selling the paper to another investor. Okay, you probably got to buy that house for $27,000, $28,000, knowing that when you buy it at 27, 28, you sell it to the next investor for 40,000 bucks. You just made $12,000. That's a lot of money. That's a chunk of money. And remember, we are here to collect chunks of money. You collect 12,000 bucks. You sell it for 40,000. The next investor dumps 25,000 into it, maybe 30. He's got 65 or 70,000 into it, and it's $100,000 neighborhood, and he sells it for $100,000. You see how everybody up the ladder made money? That's called wholesaling. And you're selling paper. You're not selling the house. You're not in there paying a company to come in and rehab the property. You could sell paper 20 times a year, make $10,000, $12,000 per transaction, and you're making $200,000 to $250,000 a year. That's a really good living. Okay. That's one creative way to make money. Actually, it's not even creative. People do that. That's an existing business that's been around for a long time. Let's step it up. Let's talk about something that we can do for you. Fix and flip real estate. We do investment and commercial real estate financing. Call me. Let's talk about this. Okay. Fix and flip. $100,000 and double the math. If it's a $200,000 house, just double it. But let's use the $100,000 example. You're not the wholesaler. You're the investor. You know that it's a $100,000 neighborhood. So you see a house that's been for sale by owner, or it can be listed by an agent. Doesn't matter. Okay. Well, number one, what do you need to do? What do you have? What requirements need to be met to work with us so that we can walk you through and get you approved for the financing for a fix and flip? You have to have the down payment ready. There's 3 tiers with lenders who do this type of financing. Each of them are a little bit different. They have beginner stage, intermediate stage, expert. A couple of them, if you've done 0 to 3 rehabs, you are a beginner. If you've done 4 to 7, you're an intermediate. If you've done 8 or more heavy rehabs, you are an expert. Different ones are different. One might be 0 to 2 and then 2 to 5. But you're either going to fit in the beginner, intermediate, or expert stage. What puts you in that is how many rehabs that you have done. Let's say you are a beginner. Okay. How much money do you got to put down on the purchase price of the house? You're looking at about 25 or 30% money down to buy the house. The deal that we set you up with, the lender will finance, after you put money down on the purchase price of the house, they'll finance 100% of the rehab cost. Okay. Those two numbers, when combined, cannot exceed, and this changes also depends on beginner, intermediate, expert, but let's say it's beginner, 70, 65, or 70% of the after repair value. Let's say it's 70%. Here's the example. $100,000 house. You've got to buy it for 35 or 30, 35 or 40. Let's say you buy it for 35. 30% of 35,000 is 3,500, 3,500, $11,500. $11,500 down buys you the house. At that point, you get a contractor, you estimate the rehab. 100% of that rehab is financed by the lender. So you can't exceed 70% of the after repair value. You bought it for 35. It costs $30,000 to rehab it, make it beautiful, make it ready to sell. Beautiful, painted, landscaped, carpeted, as good as any house in the neighborhood. Now it's ready to go. Well, you sell it and you're making $25,000 or $30,000. That's a fix and flip program. Double that. Let's say you live in an area where you're buying a $200,000 house. Okay. You buy it for 70. You put down 30% of that, $21,000. You got 50, 60 in rehab, but you can sell it for 200,000. So now you've made $50,000 or $60,000. That's a lot of money. That's called getting rich, getting wealthy, which is why we are here on Tuesday nights at Get Rich, Don't Cry Trying. There's so much to talk about getting wealthy. I mean, throw in the comments, questions, like, share, subscribe. Let's all talk about getting wealthy. There's so many ways. That's just one program. All right, commercial break, pay the light bills. Producer. All right, I'm going to keep talking. We got 12 minutes to go. Let's talk about working together. Agents, referral fees. Contact me. If you bring deals to me, I'll pay you a 10% referral fee. We do deals all the time. We do equipment financing. We do real estate financing. Any industry, any state, any credit, any equipment. We can help businesses better than the banks, better than the finance guy at the equipment dealer that you're going to. And don't pay cash. Don't pay cash for real estate. Don't pay cash for equipment. The biggest companies in the world don't do that. Model your business, structure your business, and follow the practices of the biggest businesses in the world. Do you think Coca-Cola pays cash for equipment? They don't. They finance it for reasons. Tax write-offs. Cash is king. Keep the cash in your business account, and your business looks stronger on your balance sheet for future lending, future borrowing. Okay? Cash makes your business look strong. Keep your cash. Use financing as the tool that is designed to be used as. How do we all make money together? And how much money can you make if you bring me referral deals? Well, I mean, we've made as little as $700 on one deal. We've made more than 25, as much as $25,000 on other deals. 10% of that's a lot of money. Kind of our average profit that we make on every deal is $6,000 or $8,000. So if you bring me a deal, let's say your best friend, your brother, your mother, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your aunt, whoever, somebody you just met, they have a construction company, a concrete company, and the guy needs dump trucks. He needs trailers. If he needs that stuff, then put him in contact with me. How do we do that? 330-501-4554. Call me and I'll walk you through how we do that. It's a text and an email introduction and an agreement. We sign an agreement together. Okay. The referral agreement or the agent agreement is our promise to pay you. The email introduction and the text introduction is your introduction, your proof that you introduced them to me. When that happens, we all become a party together. And we're trying to get it closed so that we all get paid. So here's an easy example. Guy wants a $500,000 excavator. We did a deal like this a month ago. How much are we going to charge for that? We're going to charge 4 points, 4%. 500,000. That's $20,000. So out of that, and that's a home run right there. Out of that, if you introduce them to us, you get $2,000 for the introduction, as long as we close it. If it doesn't go nowhere, unless we close the deal, we're not going to pay. If we close the deal, 10% of that's a lot of money. Okay, let's scale it down a little bit. Let's say it's a $100,000 piece of equipment. Whatever piece of recording studio, you need a bunch of stuff to fill the recording studio. We're probably going to charge 8 points, maybe 6, depends on what the lender allows us to charge. Let's say we charge 8, that's $8,000. Okay, $800 just for making the introduction. And if you do that, I'd love you to do it 100 times a year. Let's say you do it 10 times a year. And you make an average of $1,200 per deal. That's $12,000 a year extra that you could make. Okay. If you want to be an agent and make 25% of the cut, then I'll teach you how to do it. We'll have training. Call me. Let's connect. Let's figure out how to do this. Because this is something else we talked about in other shows on Industry Talk and Get Rich, Don't Cry Trying. Connections. I'm a connection to you. You are a connection to me. Galen Smith is a connection for so many people. Look what he's putting together. I mean, he brought 10 of us together to make content. He's given us the opportunity to have our own shows, just like what I'm doing right now. All right. So that he can build what he's building with Freeway, Rick Ross, Roku TV, content, all these connections. I'm a connection for you. I want to work with you. All right. I want to build this. I want to make money. I'm here to get rich. I'm not here to play. I'm not doing this for fun. I could be out doing some other fun stuff. I'm here to work 12 hours a day or more or whatever it takes to get wealthy. Let's get wealthy together, man. Let's do this. There's so many ways to do it. So in closing, if you need financing for your business, call me. I'm the one to talk with. The bank wants to say yes. Sure they do. But you have to be, well, two things. You got to be 640 and up to do business financing, 640 credit score and up to do business financing with a bank. If you're not, then they don't care. They're moving on to the next. You don't have to do that. We have lenders who will do difficult credit deals. We can help you get back on track. And the bank isn't going to tell you that there's less expensive money down the road. They're not going to do it. The benefit of working with us as your business finance consultants is we know where the least expensive money is. We represent 106 lenders. We don't use them all. We've zeroed in on 6, 7 that we work with all the time in each industry. Real estate financing, we got our group that we work with, groups, lenders. Equipment financing, we got 6 or 7 that we work with consistently because we like them. We know their programs inside and out. But we have all types of sources for money. The bank will not tell you there's less expensive money down the road. We will. We search it out, seek it, find it, present it to you. Okay? Let's make money together. Call me, Paul at patriotbfc.com. All right. In closing today, I just want to tell everybody, Jay Shaw, you are the man. I'm loving your show on Industry Talk. You're doing big things. Everybody's doing big things here. Boss Talk Radio. Jay Braswell, I missed you in Cleveland. I told you I'd come up to see you. I just forgot. I got busy around the 4th of July. And then on the 4th of July, I saw that you were in Cleveland and I couldn't make it up. Galen Smith, thank you for putting us all together and making all this happen. Angel Williams, children's books, you're killing it. Everybody here is killing it because of connections and what we're trying to do together. Money for your business, call me. If you want to work with me and make money, I want to do that with you as well. In closing, producer.
I'm Paul. I'm Chad. I'm Paul from Patriot Business Finance Consultants. I'm just trying to get the best financing package arranged for our clients. We will fight for you. 844-742-1776. Call us. Check out our website, www.patriotbfc.com.
Today's conversation on Industry Talk is being brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Tisha's Signature House Blend Season All. When you're preparing yourself something to eat, be sure to season your meats with Tisha's Signature House Blend Season All.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, Comedian JB, the real J Braswell, Comedian J Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jbcomedy.com.
Need a host, feature, headliner, or motivational speaker who delivers every time? Book comedian Jarrell Braswell, bringing high-energy comedy and unforgettable performances to every stage he touches. Catch him while you can. Visit jbcomedy.com and secure your date today. Calendar is filling fast. Book Jarrell Braswell now.
Come on, y'all, and come up, blooded.
hope until you come out.
Coming to the stage, Felicia JB.
For real, man, I tried they older women. Them cougars, they fucking it up. They doing what young women doing. Cougars popping, mollies. They get BBLs, all that shit. One cougar I was fucking with had a BBL. She was shaped like a silver bite gorilla. For real. Had another one I was fucking with. That bitch was shaped like Shamar.